Mobile Industry Review, Mobile Developer TV.
But even applications, it's similar. I mentioned the stats on the mobile web. I have application stats here too. About almost 40% of the apps that you'd think were just based here for users here in the US, they have more than 25% international usage. So people are using these all over. The Nokia one's a good example. I was here in the Blue Run office a while back, maybe it was like 5 or 6 months ago, and John had introduced me to one of his a friend of his from Nokia. He's been at Nokia for quite a long time, and I was showing him the stats. And there's a company in South Africa that's using our service, and the top 10 devices were all Nokia phones, and some of them were phones that are no longer sold. And that was what was surprising to him. He said, these devices, they're old, but those are the top ones hitting for that particular site. They're the ones hitting it. Because sometimes you have people say to us, well, we only care about the iPhone, Android, Blackberries. Obviously those are popular, but for some of these sites, they're getting hit by older devices out there, and if you just focus on those first three, you could lose a significant percentage of your customer base.
So you're not really just providing information. If anything, you're providing knowledge to act from a business development perspective.
Right. So our whole thing is we're trying to provide actionable insights, so things you can make decisions based on, especially around the product. One of the things we have is this funnel analysis, so you can see the flow through a site or through an app. So there's a game development company. They have about 6 iPhone games out there right now. And in one of them, they watched how the game was being played, the flow through the game, and they took that information, tweaked the gameplay a little bit, and in the first week alone, it increased engagement 10% just by tweaking the gameplay based on the stats they saw with us. The other thing is they saw where people were more idle in the game, the screens that they were sitting on a little bit longer. So that's where they decided to put ads in, figuring their eyeballs were there longer and that the ad might be more effective in those spots rather than all throughout the game. So it's those things to help improve the product offering and especially increase engagement, maximize the return, and user acquisition, all those things.
And you mentioned Nokia and the web runtime widgets. I mean, do you have much plan or any plans to do anything specifically with Symbian itself, as opposed to?
Yeah, that's part of the roadmap. So we started with the Nokia WRT, and we're going to take a look at the QT, one of their other platforms to help with Symbian development, and then the Symbian itself. So we're working pretty closely with the Nokia guys on those fronts.
And are there any other platforms that you rate? That you'd be looking at.
Oh, so yeah, I mean the core, obviously the Android, iPhone, BlackBerry, the big three that everyone talks about the most. That's why we have all those. Looking into Palm Pre, Windows, and we mentioned the Symbian because there are customers that ask for this. So we want to provide the ability to track on any of the platforms, so you can use this as a one-stop shop. What we do have is a import API as well. So if there is a platform that we don't currently support, a customer could still use our solution by making use of this import API, that if they're tracking or logging anything themselves, we have a JSON import API that they can just send the data in. So that helps for a couple things, for platforms that we haven't built the API ourselves yet for, and also if they want to do any sort of bulk uploading of their own. Sometimes people use the analytics just to say, are my numbers going up? Did I have more page views? Did I have more users? And that's just so it's interesting and it can be exciting if your traffic's going up, but what's much more valuable is how are they using the app? How are they using the site? And can I look at the data to improve those things, to increase the engagement, to get more users, or to maximize my return on investment on my ads? And that's the type of tools we're trying to provide to people. And that's the other thing. When we're talking to the potential customers, the publishers and these platform companies, we're really talking to the product guys there, because that's what it is. It's improving the product. Sometimes someone will say, oh, you must be talking to the VP marketing and that. It's like, no, it's almost always the VP product, or someone in that product chain that wants to improve it. Yeah. Well, it's neat seeing all the applications. It's interesting, the iPhone, Android, BlackBerry apps and all that stuff. I still think the mobile web is the long-term way to go, especially when you see HTML5, and someone was just showing me what's the game? It was basically Pac-Man written in HTML5 on the iPhone, and it just looked like an app, right? Everything moved around. So I think over time that should shift that way. But it is exciting seeing the apps and how these small teams of people are cranking out really impressive apps, and how some guys think of these uses that I don't even. There's the company Smule that made the flute, and I don't know if the Apple guys realized that someone would do that with it. So that's really cool, like making use of the microphone and all that stuff. So it's neat. Seeing all the innovations really cool. And everyone always says like, this is the year of mobile. This is the year of mobile, and he was saying for 10 plus years or something. But it seems like a lot of the stuff is starting to come together now, because the apps have access to GPS coordinates, and they're making some really robust and interesting things with them. That it's an exciting time. Yeah. It's easy to get. My email address is just Arte@Motally.com, so it's ARTE at Motally, which is MOTALLY.com. That's the easiest way. My phone number if you want to.
That's fine.
It's mobile is 415-640-2133. But our website's www.motally.com. We have contact forms right there where people can reach out to us, post questions, or want to see a demo. We're pretty easy to get a hold of.
Fantastic. So, can we have a demo?
Oh, yeah. So,
right.
Mobile Industry Review, Mobile Developer TV.